Hi there, my name is Max, and I am not your average traveler. You see, I am a time traveler, zipping through different periods of history to explore fascinating places and cultures. Today, I've landed in Victorian England, a time of elegant carriages, cobblestone streets, and people dressed in fancy clothes. Sounds exciting, right? But there's a catch. While I am great at jumping through time, I am not so great at speaking English. And in this bustling era, I quickly realized that communication is key. I'll need to learn some essential phrases if I want to navigate this world and make the most of my adventure. That's where you come in. Today, you'll join me as I explore Victorian England and learn simple, useful English phrases along the way. Together, we'll practice speaking and understanding these phrases so you can use them in your own daily life. Before we dive in, don't forget to turn on subtitles for extra help and try repeating the phrases with me as we go. Trust me, it'll make a big difference in improving your pronunciation and confidence. Ready? Let's get started. Time travelers. The moment I stepped out of my time machine, I was greeted by a world unlike anything I'd ever seen. Victorian England was alive with activity. The streets were bustling with men in top hats and women in flowing dresses. Horse-drawn carriages clattered down the cobblestone roads, and shopkeepers shouted to passers-by about fresh bread and fine silk. I walked slowly, taking it all in. The smell of roasted chestnuts filled the air, and children laughed as they ran through the streets. But as much as I admired the lively atmosphere, I soon realized something important. I had no idea where I was or where I needed to go. I had arrived in this incredible era, but now what? That's when it hit me I needed help. But asking for help wasn't as simple as walking up to someone and waving my arms. This was Victorian England, after all. People here spoke English, and if I wanted to get anywhere, I'd need to speak it too. I paused on the edge of the street, watching as people passed by. How could I start a conversation? What words should I use? Then I remembered something I'd heard before. When you need help, start with, "Excuse me." It's polite and gets people's attention, but saying, "Excuse me," wouldn't be enough. I'd need to ask a complete question, like, "Can you help me?" or "Where is the nearest inn?" I practiced the phrases quietly to myself, feeling nervous but determined. Standing there, surrounded by the sounds and sights of a new world, I decided to give it a try. I spotted a kind-looking woman nearby and took a deep breath. It was time to put my English to the test. With my heart pounding, I walked up to the woman. She was carrying a basket of flowers and seemed approachable, her warm smile easing some of my nerves. Taking a deep breath, I spoke the words I had just practiced. "Excuse me," I said, my voice a little shaky. She turned to me immediately, her eyes kind and attentive. "Can you help me?" "Of course," she replied, her voice as gentle as her expression. "What do you need?" Her response gave me a boost of confidence. I continued, trying to remember the phrase, "Where is the nearest inn?" She smiled, pointing down the street. "Go straight ahead and turn left. You'll see it just past the bakery." "Thank you so much," I said, feeling a wave of relief. My first attempt at speaking English in Victorian England had worked. The woman nodded and continued on her way, leaving me standing there with a mixture of pride and amazement. I had done it. I had used English to solve a problem, and it wasn't as scary as I'd imagined. As I walked toward the inn, I repeated the key phrases in my head to reinforce what I'd learned. "Excuse me," I murmured. "Can you help me? Where is the nearest?" It felt natural now. I realized just how useful these simple phrases could be in any situation. I looked around, thinking about how many more opportunities I'd have to practice my English on this journey. For the first time, I wasn't just a time traveler, I was a language learner too. And with each new conversation, I could feel myself growing more confident. The inn was just ahead, as the woman had said. My first challenge in Victorian England was complete, but I knew this was only the beginning of my adventure. Reaching the inn, I took a moment to reflect on what had just happened. My first attempt at asking for help in English had been a success, and that filled me with pride. But more than that, I realized how powerful and versatile those simple phrases could be. Let's break them down together. "Excuse me." This is a polite way to get someone's attention. It's simple, but very effective, especially in busy places. You can use it anywhere on the street, in a shop, or even on public transport. "Can you help me?" This question is direct and shows that you need assistance. Where is the nearest? A fantastic way to ask for directions. Just fill in the blank with what you are looking for in an inn, a cafe, a park. As I sat down at the inn's wooden table, I practiced these phrases again in my mind. I imagined different situations where I might use them. For example, if I wanted to find a library, I could say, "Excuse me, where is the nearest library?" Or, if I needed help finding a doctor, I could ask, "Excuse me, can you help me? Where is the nearest doctor's office?" These phrases were like keys, unlocking doors to new conversations and opportunities. They gave me confidence to explore this new world without feeling lost or overwhelmed. But there was something else I noticed. Speaking English wasn't just about the words, it was also about tone and body language. When I asked for help, I made sure to smile and speak clearly. These small actions made a big difference in how people responded to me. As I prepared for the next part of my journey, I felt a renewed sense of excitement. Learning English wasn't just a necessity, it was becoming an adventure of its own. Now that we've learned, you are walking through a busy street and you need to find something specific. Let's go through a few scenarios together. Scenario 1. Asking for direction. Picture this. You are in a new city and you need to find a bakery. What would you say? Let's try it step by step. First, get someone's attention. Say, "Excuse me." Now, ask for help. Say, "Can you help me?" Finally, ask your specific question. Say, "Where is the nearest bakery?" Now it's your turn. Pause the video, repeat these phrases out loud, and try to imagine saying them to someone in real life. Great, let's move on. Scenario 2. Finding a restaurant. You are feeling hungry and want to find a good place to eat. What do you say? Start with, "Excuse me." Then, "Can you help me?" And finally, "Where is the nearest restaurant?" Remember, practice makes perfect. Repeating these phrases helps them stick in your memory and boosts your confidence when you use them. Scenario 3. Asking about a park. This time, you are looking for a park to relax in. How would you ask? Follow the same steps. "Excuse me. Can you help me? Where is the nearest park?" Great job! You've just practiced using English phrases in real-life situations. The more you practice, the easier it will become. Remember, even small steps are big progress. Congratulations, time travelers! Today, you joined me in Victorian England and learned how to navigate a new world using simple English phrases. Together, we practiced asking for directions, getting help, and interacting with others politely. These small steps are building blocks for big progress in your English journey. Let's quickly review what we've covered. "Excuse me," a polite way to get someone's attention. "Can you help me?" Question to ask when you need assistance. "Where is the nearest?" A versatile phrase for finding places. You didn't just learn these phrases, you practiced them in realistic scenarios, making them easier to remember and use. These skills aren't just helpful in Victorian England, they'll come in handy wherever you go in the modern world too. Remember, every time you practice, you are one step closer to becoming confident in English. Learning a language is like traveling. It's all about the journey, not just the destination. Keep exploring. Stay curious and never be afraid to make mistakes. If you enjoyed this adventure, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join me for more stories where we'll continue to learn English in fun and exciting ways. See you in the next time traveling adventure.